Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
roundup. Oh my days.
Wow.
We're in for a great show today, guys. Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
And we're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah,
Foden
I'd
88,
say
Saka
that's about
87.
right,
I think that's wrong.
A nice that you put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
How much chance of Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do it on
PSV, do you think there's any chance?
No,
of we
no,
know?
no.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions:
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves. Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still there.
You're in trouble if we win this game.
You better not lose on Saturday.
We beat the world champions this weekend. That makes you world champion.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title race.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 billion down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby Pilates instead of trophies. You never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to DR Sports. Welcome back to Live at 5, an incredibly rushed introduction. Thank you there, production. But I'm Dylan. I'm your host today, obviously, live at 5 till 6 p.m. And today, it's part 2, pretty much, of talking about, well, at least for the first bit, Carragher and Mo Salah. Because we thought it was all over. Salah said his piece, and Carragher said his piece last night. But no, there's been more today.
There's been more.
There's been even more today. And obviously, just like yesterday, you've got Laurie joining me to, talk about part 2 of Mo Salah.
I'm here for it, man.
Here for it. It's got even more interesting. And then also on my right hand side, Abby's back again, back in the DR
Hello.
Sports studio.
Back-
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
You've had a bit of a crazy day, haven't you?
I have had a crazy day. I just got a leaf blower blown at my head.
For
Yeah.
a solid about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
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 So-
But it's all right. It's all in the name of content,
Fun
guys.
advertising, yeah.
All in the name
But
of content.
it is so. Obviously, I don't know how much you guys saw about what Jamie Carragher said last night on Monday Night
Yes,
Football
I
about Mo
watched it.
Salah stuff. I assume that a lot of you guys have heard it, but the headline basically was he went, "This is a disgrace." He pretty much said, "We made you, Salah, so you can't do that to us." He basically went, before Liverpool, you were, this is what he said, which I found mad. He went, "You were the guy that failed at Chelsea."
Yeah, crazy.
That was word for word, bar for bar, what he said. And I thought, fair, probably a bit far, because he was fantastic at Roma before he signed him. But obviously, ultimately, Mo Salah became Mo Salah that we all know at Liverpool. And then Mo Salah came out today and posted just a photo of him alone at the gym. Which was quite, because all the squad had travelled yesterday, and I did find it quite funny. And then,
Do you think that was in response to Carragher, or was that just?
Oh,
himself?
I think that's just in response to the entire situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was-
But
it-
not directed at.
Like a wordless message being like,
I'm here alone.
maybe saying, I'm still committed. Look at me. I've been left out.
I
I'm
don't
still at the
necessarily
gym.
think that's what it was.
No?
I think, no, because I mean, obviously he's still committed because he's still picking up £400 a week. I'd be committed as well, but I think it's more. I think it's more emphasising the point that I've said what I've said. I've not travelled with the squad. I'm here on my ones in the gym.
But But like that's maybe what he's trying to show. But I don't know if there's anything extra motivation beyond that. I don't know, being like like no days off or something.
No, I don't think there is. I think you're clutching.
No, I'm just wondering because when someone says something like post a photo like that without any words, it's kind of maybe the whole point is that it's up for interpretation. But the more interesting thing is, as you can see on the screen here, is Jamie Carragher replies to this and then says, "I'm not sure I've wanted Liverpool to win a game more than tonight for a long time. Wow. Come you mighty Reds."
It's a shame because obviously this is a guy that has given so much to Liverpool and he is a club legend, right? And a lot of what's going to happen and how this is now unfolding is going to end up with tarnishing what is such a great legacy for him. Like, it's never going to change obviously what the numbers he's put up and what he's achieved with Liverpool and what he's won with Liverpool, but it will leave a sour taste at the end if this is now how it ends and he doesn't play another game for Liverpool, because I personally can't see how he does pull that shirt on again and play for Arne Slot and play for the club again unless he was to go in and give an apology, which it doesn't seem to me so far that's what Mo Salah is leaning towards. And then you've got someone like Carragher who has been very critical. And I think it's divided the fan base so much. Like, some people are like, I stand with Salah, but AGT made a great point yesterday. Like, no one player is bigger than your club, bigger than the institution. And you should keep that in-house. As soon as someone tries to disrupt that or, call out ownership or call out management or whatever, like, I don't know whether or not his angle was to try and get Arne Slot sacked and put the nail in his coffin, but if anything, it's kind of backfired. And even from my own club, I remember when Antonio Conte gave a scathing interview. I think we'd lost to Burnley, maybe, or Can't remember who it was. It's the iconic interview that he gave, and he absolutely ripped into the club, you know, and the players and everything. And I pretty much agreed with everything that he said. But once you cross that line of coming for the club, the institution, the board, there isn't really a way back for you after that. And it's unfortunate that I think it puts Mohamed Salah in this situation where after AFCON, he might not be returning.
That's the gripe I had with it more than anything. So when we were speaking yesterday, it was me and Laurie here with FJ. And FJ, to be fair to him, put in a big defence for Salah, didn't he? He was very, very pro-Salah on this whole thing. Because FJ's been very pro-Slot as well. And after this, FJ pretty much said, if Salah goes in January, get rid of Slot. And that's someone who's been very pro-Slot the entire time, pretty much until this moment. But the gripe I had with Salah with this is that I still refuse to believe that. So what he did is it's a last-ditch Hail Mary kind of thing, isn't it? Like when Ronaldo did it with Piers Morgan, that's because the relationships were already broken. They were already broken beyond repair. He already wanted to leave and this and that.
But the Hail Mary is in order to leave.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. That's why Ronaldo did it.
This is what I find so surprising about this entire thing, is because Mo Salah, I refuse to believe that if he really wanted to repair relations or maybe wanted to stay at Liverpool, there were probably other ways of doing this. Even if it's book a meeting with your CEO, actually burst into Slot's door and go, we're talking about this. Like, if he actually wanted to do that, he would have. And I refuse to believe that he had already... I say I refuse to believe. I feel like he... Maybe he already did try this stuff, but it felt like if he had tried this stuff, he would have said, all he said was, suddenly I don't have a relationship and I don't know why. And it's like, well, if you don't know why, and then you didn't take the steps to try and figure it out behind closed doors first, that's the gripe I had with it. But with AGT's view, I was watching the show, and to be fair, I think he's had the best take on this.
Yeah.
His take was spot on in that, you know, no one is bigger than the club, and that's maybe what Carragher was trying to say, but Carragher went personal.
I think that's the point. Like, he did touch on that, Carragher, but then, you know, calling out what he hasn't necessarily achieved with Egypt, for example. Like,
a couple of months ago, he was saying that AFCON is not a real tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I
now
think
he's using it in
some things. I think that we can take with, like, okay, that's a jab, that's a personal jab. We don't need to kind of buy into those type of things. Like, that's his view. I agree with his view in the way that it's a team sport, and yes, he has led Liverpool to a lot of success, but there's also a team in that. There's also a team behind you on the pitch, off the pitch, and all of that. So that interview that he gave after the game on Saturday night wasn't about the team. It wasn't bettering the team. It was about him and solely him. And I think that angle that people are looking at, and that angle that Jamie Carragher was talking about, I think that is spot on. That was not about helping anyone other than Mo Salah, either to get himself out of the situation that he's in, not wanting to sit on the bench, but also wanting to get a resolution. But he has only just got given that massive contract, and that was only a few months ago. And football is very fickle. I say this all the time. I think that as a leader in that club and in kind of that camp, like, you sometimes have to put yourself to the side for the greater good of the team. Now, he's not a player that is going to track back. I think that Carragher's points about Trent were actually very important in that. I think that might probably not be a key factor in what he said. People might not cling on to it, but I actually think it was very important. We constantly criticise Trent for his defensive ability, but he had no one actually helping him because Salah wasn't there to really track back and give him that assistance. Amazing going forward, and obviously the relationship between Trent and Salah is unreal, and we've seen Salah miss that this season. But it was a valid point that when you have a luxury player like that, whether it's an Mbappe, whether it's a Messi, whether it's a Ronaldo, whether it's a Salah, for example, you can carry that if you're performing and the rest of the team is. But if you can't defend, which, let's be honest, this season Konate can't defend, Virgil van Dijk can't defend, Conor Bradley's been okay, Kirkus hasn't been okay. The only option you've got to switch that out is Joe Gomez. So you can't really afford to have a luxury player right now because you'd lost 9 and 12. So I understand him coming out of the team. And if you can't look at the bigger picture as saying, well, actually, I'm not going to do the dirty work, I can't do the dirty work, then actually for the greater good of the team right now, I should come out so we can get back to winning ways.
Do you think to a certain extent then maybe the points Carragher was trying to make were good or valid points, but the way he then landed them is maybe more of the issue here?
I think it's emotion. I think that this is such an emotional situation, like, for the fans, for the club. The club's had a difficult few months. You know, we go back the last 6 months to losing Jota and everything that's gone on since then on the pitch. Liverpool fans aren't used to losing games and being in this situation. It's been a very long time since they've been in a situation like this. So emotions are high. And obviously they're all still grieving as a club anyway. Plus you're adding this into it, who is like their club legend, maybe top 3 ever best players to have ever worn a Liverpool shirt. Like, there's a lot going on at the minute. And I think that with Jamie Carragher, who is a fan of Liverpool, knows what it means to wear that badge, play for that club, and is loyal through and through to that club, seeing someone throw the club under the bus, that's never going to sit right with him. So that's going to invoke those kind of emotional responses that a fan would have, rather than someone that is maybe more balanced and being a pundit. Because it's like with anything, if you had someone for Arsenal that came out and said that, if Thierry Henry would have come out and said that, as a fan you would lead with your emotion. When Ronaldo did it, you lead with emotion.
Yeah.
It's like we can sit here as outsiders looking in on this Liverpool situation, have probably a more, I don't want to say balanced view, but maybe more of like a pragmatic approach and pragmatic view of it across the board, because it's not our club, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I think when it is someone that it is in your club and it affects you, obviously your emotion levels are going to be way higher.
But
to
then
reaction.
as well, Carragher had about, 2 or 3 days to like actually think about what he was going to say. And his opening line was, "This is a disgrace." Like, that was his opening line. He went,
But that's the first time he's been able to properly air it in the way he wants to air it. He can sit there and air it on X and whatever, and Instagram, whatever. But him being able to actually get it off his chest. It's same way as AGT come in here yesterday morning, and he's literally said, "Guys, I just need to get it off my chest. No one talk while I'm talking."
Well, Monday Night Football, I think they didn't let him talk about it for the first about hour and a half of that show. I was sat there. I know United were playing at 8 p.m, but I was like, you know what? I want to see what Carragher's saying about the Wolves game. I know that happened last night. Worst 4-1 win I've ever seen in my entire life. Terrible 4-1 win. But I want to ask you, Laurie, do you think, especially with Carragher here saying that he's not sure he's wanted Liverpool to win a game more than the game tonight, is that going too far? Is that them crossing the line? Because you think about Liverpool, the games they've had in the last 5 years, right? These high stakes games. They've had these big matches against Man City in title races, and they've had Champions League finals, they've had Champions League semi-finals, Cup finals, FA Cup finals, League Cup finals. And then suddenly, this is the one where Carragher's going, I want to win this one more than anything. Is he then putting kind of maybe, I don't know if personal agenda is the right word, but it may be his personal vendetta against Salah at the moment, way too high up, almost over his support for the club, by saying that this is the one he wants to see his club win, rather than all of the massive trophy deciding games they've had in the last 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, I got home yesterday and I watched Carragher's rant, and I've got to say, he seemed to be spitting fire.
Spitting fire, not feathers.
Did you notice as well, by the way?
The irony of that will not be lost on some people.
Sky Sports as well, behind Carragher, had put like red flames and stuff behind it.
I used the term.
Yeah, but I was sorry. Give me a second. But I was looking at it, going, "That is incredible from you guys," because you sat there in the video. He's there. Carragher's got 2 hands on the chair like this, going.
He's
like
fuming.
Fire coming out behind him.
No, the guy's fuming. He's absolutely furious.
Yeah. I did use the term spitting advisedly. If you know, you know. But anyway, so he was spitting fire, as he's been known to have done in the past.
He doesn't hold back.
I got that now. Yeah.
You get that now.
Got that.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think Dylan's quite got the.
No.
But anyway,
got that.
So he was spitting fire. Now listen, with Jamie Carragher's remarks, I've got to say it did seem to be an element, more than an element actually, of personal vendetta about it, I've got to say. Because
at the same time, Salah kind of started it by actually name-dropping Carragher
I've
the
got
other day.
fire for Salah as well. I'm going to get onto it in a minute. But with Carragher's comments, yes, a lot what he said was grounded in truth. But when your opening remark is, listen, mate, you were nothing before you came to this club. You're a flop at Chelsea. Immediately I'm thinking, yeah, he's going down a slightly personal route. As I said previously, mentioning Egypt, this is the same Jamie Carragher that was pretty condescending towards AFCON recently. So why are you mentioning you've never done nothing for Egypt in AFCON? I don't think that's relevant to this conversation. That being said, though, I said yesterday, I thought Salah's comments were overly emotive. I thought they were egotistical. I said they were self-serving, narcissistic, arrogant, disrespectful, and somewhat delusional. I mean, when you're saying to the world that, listen, I shouldn't have to fight for my place because of the stuff I've done for the club. I thought that was really
crazy,
out of pocket. And listen, I'm a big fan of Salah because I think he's not just a Liverpool legend. I would describe him as a Premier League legend. He's definitely one of the
best Premier League players
in
ever.
the world. He's definitely one of the best. So
Easily.
He does deserve respect. But then respect is something that works 2 ways.
Yeah.
What he did, what Abby said is right. If he'd have did that, if he's an Arsenal player, no matter who you are, even if you're Thierry Henry and you come out and do that, I'm not going to be happy with
Tarnishes
that.
it.
So I can understand Carragher and Alex and everybody else, you know, feeling disrespected and feel that they have to comment. So yeah, I thought he was out of pocket. But like I said, I thought Carragher's comments, even though a lot of what he said was grounded in truth, there did appear to be a very personal nature.
Do you know what
to it.
I'd be interested to ask AGT when I see him? You know the whole Trent saga. How could we forget? You can't tell Liverpool fans how to feel. Yada yada yada. You know
Yeah.
they absolutely hate Trent. Won't even talk about him and just call him 66. Trent left in a respectful way. I felt as an outsider in the sense that he left to go and play for another club. The club itself should never have put him in a position where he was out of contract and they don't get any money for him. That was always, in my opinion, that's on the club. That's not on the player. Trent never kicked up a fuss
But didn't he kiss the badge at one point? Or
because he still
Trent or
loves the
something?
club. He's just allowed to have other aspirations. But if this is a player and someone like Salah who's on 400 grand a week, he was rewarded and rightly so with a new contract, came out and put pressure on the board in order to do that. And there is that is right that every time he does speak to the media, it is with a personal agenda for it. That is correct. Call it what it is. But I do think that the criticism, and I will always say the criticism that Liverpool fans have given Trent is so unbelievably harsh for the guy that served that club, gave everything for that club, won everything there is to win, basically, with that club, and then decided he wanted a new challenge. And they absolutely crucified him for it. And now you've got people that are kind of defending Mo Salah, which fine, they can do that. But let's be honest, you have no right to defend him when you've criticised Trent the way he has. All the boy wanted to do was go and play for another club and have a new challenge. This one's on 400 grand a week. And he's thrown the whole club and the institution under the bus.
And I think he's been rather cynical about it as well, because let's be honest, had Liverpool have won that game, do you think he would have come out and said that? He waited until, you know,
Well,
things...
this is the thing, is this is what Carragher, this is one of the points Carragher was making. Was so yesterday on the show, I mean, I'll admit it, I said I thought that Salah was acting on emotion with what he did, like in the kind of, he just kind of went, you know what, no, I need to say something, because blah, blah, blah. But then Carragher mentioned, he said 4 times in 8 years has Mo Salah actually engaged with anyone in the what's it called, the press area, the mix zone after the game. So then, and he said all 4 times it's been, I can't remember what the specifics were, was he said, Carragher said all 4 times, so 3 times plus the other day, has been something to do with him, Salah, not necessarily just good game from the guys, lovely goal from XYZ, or, you know, we're working on this as a team. Because all the message has been come from all the other Liverpool players have been coming out, which is, you know, this is in-house, this is internal, we're talking, we're speaking. Soboslai, that evening, 10 minutes before Salah said this stuff, he went, it's on us. We're talking, we're doing it internally, blah, blah, blah. So maybe, having listened to Carragher, I think he did make some good points, but then again, I still think he went way too personal.
Did. And
yeah.
To go back to Salah's comments, like I said, had Liverpool won that game, I doubt very much whether Salah had done that. So although there was some emotion in, there's no doubt about it, but he was also a bit cynical and a bit calculated as well, because had Liverpool won that game, I guarantee you he would not have done it then. He would have waited for Liverpool to have another bad win.
Winner.
Or what he might have done, and I said this to, shout out to Curtis, me and him were talking about this morning, so he might have waited until he'd gone out to Morocco to play for Egypt, made those comments, and then he could have hid behind the old, lost in translation, or people are misinterpreting what I'm saying. But he was always going to do this. To me, this is calculated.
The thing is, so do you reckon this was something he also wanted to do pre-AFCON? As in he basically drops this bomb and goes?
Yeah.
Because yesterday I was saying, if you wanted to do something like this, you go to AFCON, you chill out, you take a break, then you come back. Like if Salah wanted to be constructive, he would have waited until January to he maybe had this as an idea as a backup option, but doing this before AFCON. Because the other thing now is...
He would either done it
now
Liverpool had an adverse result, or what he would have done, he would have went out there, done it, and then used the cover of lost in translation. Oh, the people are misinterpreting what I say. When I say throw under the bus, I'm not talking. You know what I'm saying? So as much as I'm an admirer of him as a player and a person prior to this, this particular incident has not shown him to be in a very good light. I think it's totally self-serving what he's done. For you to talk about you don't have to fight for your place because of what you've done in the past. Come on, bro.
Everyone has
ridiculous.
to fight for their place.
Christopher asks a good question. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Christopher. He says, would it be equally problematic if Carragher had said KDB was known as a Chelsea reject and didn't win anything in Germany and for Belgium?
Well, this is the point I made. And that's when you start off your rant by coming out with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Immediately I heard that, I thought, here we go. It's personal. And we know that he's made remarks about Salah in the past, and Salah has said, reference him, innit? He said, Jamie Carragher's probably going to say this. So there's clear that there's been issues.
What,
between
you
them in
reckon
the
that
past.
Jamie Carragher might not have been as personal as he was if Salah hadn't name dropped him?
Yeah, but why did Salah name drop him? Salah name dropped him because
What?
Carragher has said little.
Carragher said a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, Carragher said that Salah's lost his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably Salah, well, we know now he's got a massive ego. And that goes back to something else you said, or was it Abby? That, and look, don't get me wrong, I agree with you when you said that no player is bigger than the club. Was it you or Abby?
Yeah.
And I do agree with you, but here's the thing. Some of these players actually think they're bigger than the
But
club.
that's their
they
ego.
actually do.
And like that is what
Ronaldo did it with
But,
United.
but look, everybody has an ego, okay? Everybody has a form of narcissism in them. It's just how big
Yeah.
To be one of the
on
best
the
players in
scale
the world,
of
you need
narcissist
it as
you are.
well.
Well, of course, it's what drives you. It's being, well, not narcissism, that doesn't, but having an ego is what drives
That's
you
what I mean, like thinking you're the best.
to be the best you can be, right? In whatever profession that you're in. It's all about ego. However, you only need to have watched Salah this season to see that I'm not saying his legs are properly gone, but you can see that he's off
Yeah,
pace.
he's
He's
not
not
at
the
the
Salah
levels
he
he
was.
was, yeah.
So if you're going to get offended by that, by Carragher saying that, I mean, come on, he was a professional footballer as well. Everyone knows who watches football, has played football. You know, when you start getting to 33, 34, your legs start to go. It's just facts. Like most of the time, if you're still managing to play later in your mid or late 30s, and that's brilliant. But sometimes, especially when you're explosive, as he is, then your legs do go. We
So
sat
it's
there
just
and
physiology,
we've said it about Kyle Walker a couple of years ago. Like, there's plenty of players I've sat there and said, you know, he looks different. I remember saying it about
Well, you saw it with Son.
Son.
Well, we had it with
Thank you.
Aubameyang.
Aubameyang,
like
Son.
their legs start going.
It's just a normal. I'm sorry, but that's just a normal comment to make when you're talking about footballers and football players in general when they've had a bit of a fall off at their
And the other
age.
thing I would say
you
as
can't
well,
get upset
no,
about that.
no player wants to be dropped. You can
Course
always see
not.
whenever you see a player get taken off, a lot of them engage in histrionics. A lot of it's for the cameras where they're throwing their shirt down and kicking the seat and thinking, whatever.
All I can
But
say is-
for him to come out and say, I've been left on the bench 3 times after what I've done for
He
this
came
club,
on
I thought
against
that was
Brighton.
ridiculous.
Wasn't it Brighton he come on against as well at half time? Or was it West Ham?
Well, no, so the last two, so West Ham he came on. The last
West
two
Ham.
games he's not come on at all.
Okay, but that's because the team didn't require it, and it was. I think it might have actually even been in the Carragher thing that he said that at the time when they weren't chasing a goal for was it the Leeds
So
game
so
or
the
West
Leeds
Ham
game, Leeds game they were 3. So West Ham they won 2-0.
Yeah.
The Sunderland game they went 1-0 down, and then Vert's deflected shot went in to
Yeah.
make it 1-1. And then I think maybe that game, maybe Salah's like, it's 1-1 at Anfield, 20 minutes to go. Get me on.
But
Then
equally,
he
they
didn't.
also need to
But
focus
then
on
at
defending
Leeds
to not
they were
concede
3.
again.
They were 3-2 up, and this is the point that has been made. One of the things that one of the points that Carragher made, which again, like I think individually some of the points Carragher made were good. He just littered them with like some personal vendetta, which then kind of
I think that's
blew
fair.
up his point.
No,
Because-
I've
because-
said
I
from
do
the
think
start of
so.
the show, a lot of what Carragher said is grounded in truth.
Yeah.
Because
Facts.
on the pitch,
However-
one thing that Carragher said, so I just want to mention this, is that Carragher said when you need to defend, the first person you take off is the one player who you've allowed not to defend,
true.
which is Salah. Salah didn't barely defend. This is what Carragher was saying last season. Trent and previous
what I've just
seasons.
said
Yeah,
about
as
Trent.
you said, Carragher, Slot and Klopp both kind of went, you don't need to defend, stay there, score goals. Now he's not doing that. You take him off. So it's understandable that Salah came off. And it's also understandable that he may feel aggrieved that he's not playing because he's played his entire career. But then to go and do this when there still are other options out there, speak to the CEO, speak to the sporting director, actually have a chat with Slot about this. This is where I'm like, how on earth, why have you done this? Like, it's clear that you have an ulterior motive behind this, and maybe
as I
getting
said,
out there.
It's
Also,
totally
yeah.
self-serving. Listen,
Self-serving.
as much as I admire Salah as a player, we've seen elements of this with him before. Remember when Mane was at the club? They fell out because Mane felt that he wouldn't pass to him and that he wanted all the limelight for himself. We've seen with Klopp that when he was left out for a couple of games or a game or two, he got upset with Klopp. Apparently, he's had issues on international duty with Egypt. You know what I mean? So this is a guy that, you know what I'm saying, he has an ego.
It's a shame. It's a real shame, because he is just such a legend of the Premier League, and not just Liverpool. But you don't want to see any player of that stature go out like this. And I genuinely can't see him. So what's he meant to do now? Go to AFCON? Is like when he even said the other day that he's invited his family to the Brighton
Last game.
Like, But bro, you're not getting on that pitch. Are you mad?
No, he'll be. I think.
Well,
No,
no,
he
dude,
actually said, I've invited my family to Brighton game because it could be my last
But
game.
in-
How
Yeah.
presumptuous is that?
But what would have been smarter is then have your family come to the Brighton game, make your comments after, because then you're going to AFCON. That would have probably been smarter.
That's what I
That's
find
a
mad,
mic
yeah.
drop moment. But actually,
And also, when
you probably
he
dropped the
he
mic a bit early.
He would have said it at Anfield, not Ellen Road.
Yeah.
But maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't want to say it at Anfield.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're saying it in the mix zone after the game, so the game's
Yeah.
done.
No,
True.
but what I maintain 100% that had Liverpool won that game, I don't think he would have done that.
But then,
Waited
I
to-
think if they had won that game, he'd have done it at Brighton, regardless
Yeah, but
of the
that's
result.
the point I'm making. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying
No, I
that
do agree with you.
he's
But I do
self-serving.
want to just talk as well about some. So for you guys, obviously watching, if you do want to have your say, you're watching on YouTube, get your super chats in and everything. Let us know what you think. But I do want to say, so first of all, JX5 VVE, big up for the super chat and also big up for being a member of DR Sports. He says LFC hasn't lost since Salah been on the bench. That is also true.
True.
They actually haven't lost a game in those three.
3 games,
but
1 win, 2
But what's
draws.
happened? What Ben Jacobs has come out with. So
Yeah.
Ben Jacobs very good with Saudi stuff. He is very like his sources in Saudi almost constantly correct. And basically, multiple Saudi Arabian clubs have Mohamed Salah now on their radar. So after he basically hinted he might say his goodbyes when Liverpool host Brighton this weekend. There are several clubs, including Neom FC. They've got concrete interest in Salah. It's Christopher Gaita's side. They're prepared to make a move if Salah becomes genuinely available in January. So, and is more importantly, is affordable. So I don't know how. But then Liverpool also says here Liverpool are still committed to his 3-year deal or 2.5-year deal now. They're still committed to it, and apparently when they come back from the game they've got against, I believe it's Inter Milan, I think they're playing, right? Yeah. Once they come back from Milan, then apparently everyone's going to sit down and have a chat with Salah. But
Do you
what do you
believe
think
that?
Salah's going to say in that chat then?
Listen, Salah's gone. His position at the club is untenable.
Well,
Liverpool.
as long as Arne Slot is there, I mean.
But is he going to say play
No, but I
me or
think
is he going
even
to say
if
let me
Arne
go?
Slot weren't there, I think what will happen is that Liverpool need to sell him whilst he's still got some value left. You know what I mean? Waiting until the end of the season, I think, would be silly. I think
Well-
both parties need to recognise where they're at
Yeah.
and just get the deal
Also,
done for Salah.
I would also argue that what was the extension they gave him? 3 years or 2 years?
3 year.
It was a 3-year extension, right, on a very big wage. I think some Liverpool fans, I think, thought he was going to be there to fulfil the entirety of that. I think you're mad. Like, if you honestly think he was going to stay for that amount of time and finish the career there, like, getting him to sign a new deal would obviously benefit Liverpool to sell him on the same way with Van Dijk. Obviously, signing Trent would have been great as well because there's more longevity in that career, obviously being younger. But there's still market value in Salah. So I can't have imagined. Look, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't have imagined.
Sorry, I believe it's a 2-year plus 1 deal. So
Oh,
thank
okay.
you,
I
thank
was
you,
going
chat.
to say I thought it
2027,
was. I thought it was 2 years.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't imagine that we would have got to the end of this season anyway, and Liverpool wouldn't have tried to cash in on some of it, and have 1 year left on the deal. And if there's an offer on the table, so then they can recoup some money. Like I think that's like business sense.
that's
like,
why they did that.
I know
think
that's what
why
we
they
did with
that.
Son. Like,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
never give credit to Daniel Levy for anything ever. But the one thing I do commend him on was actually that deal because Son was finished, absolutely finished, but squeezed another 2 years out of it. Sold him on a year
I
and
think
got,
that's where
and got
the
20
Liverpool
million
fans
for
were
it.
upset
Got 20
with
million
Trent,
for him.
wasn't it? Because he didn't sign the deal, so
No,
they didn't get any money.
that's
from
on
it.
the board.
Yeah,
It's on the
yeah,
board,
yeah.
guys. On the board.
But I don't know, but I just think his position at the club is untenable. I just don't
Totally.
think it's,
I'd be shocked.
it's best for all parties if they just sit down and work out the most plausible and feasible way out for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, Thomas Owen 1720 has made a really good point here. Thank you for the super chat. He said, "Does anyone think that Klopp could have seen this coming, and that's why he left? He got rid of Mane before he declined. Was Mo next to go?" That's an interesting question,
I think
Like,
that's
because
with hindsight.
Because I think with Sir Alex Ferguson when he left United, he left while he was still on top, didn't he? Sir Alex Ferguson. He knew he was going to win that league title in 2013, and he thought, right, I can see where this is going, and exactly where it did end up
Smart
going.
move.
And he went, you know what, I'm going to go now. Do you reckon Klopp? Because Klopp did say he was tired. He was like, Klopp was like, I think I'm done with this for now. I'm tired. I want to finish. But maybe there is a certain aspect of Klopp felt tired because he knew that Liverpool were about to get into a situation like this within the next 12, 18 months. And he thought, I don't want to have to deal
It's
with this.
possible
And just
because
left.
if he's working with the players day in, day out, he could probably sense that, some players are on that kind of that slide.
Well, that's
That
what's going to happen when
inexorable
you
slide that we spoke about.
When you've had a play, when you've had a team that was so settled for such a long time, and under a Klopp era, like a lot of those players were still there. So it's only in the last few seasons we've seen, well, especially this season, we've seen like a whole host of new players come in. A lot of that was still a lot of Klopp's team, and those.
Well,
and
they
those
won the
players,
title last year with that team.
Of course they did, but a lot of those players were aging, and that's why we've discussed it a million times this season. Why Liverpool have also been so poor. You've had 2 new fullbacks. You've got 2 centre backs that are completely out of form. Your midfield, who were brilliant last year, completely off it. You've got Salah, the best player in the Premier League, completely off it. You've got 1, 2, 3 new forward players. You've got a wing back that doesn't necessarily fit into the system. In fair to him, he's barely played. Obviously, he's been injured. Yeah. You've got Kirkers, who was brilliant at Bournemouth, not looking good whatsoever. And then you've got a manager who's now trying to fit all of these pieces into a puzzle. And you've got the main person in Salah then causing this disruption as well. We don't even know what goes on off the pitch.
Although to be fair though, most people, I know certainly I did, I thought Liverpool would, if not win the title, be there or thereabouts. I made them the favourites.
I don't think any.
So this implosion has come as a surprise to me.
Never we could have foreseen.
I mean, there's another one of the comments from Lolo Does Work says, clearly a case of someone who can't handle being an understudy, which is understandable to an extent, but he needs to understand that he wasn't going to be the king forever.
It's a team sport. Do you think that Son, who had waited years and years to get into a position to play as the captain of my club to win something, was happy sitting on the bench in the Europa League final? Of course not. But it's a team game, and it's what benefited the team on the night to get you over that line. Son's legs had gone. Son can't defend. So they went with another option that was better to make sure that you won the game. And then you can bring Son on for the last 15 minutes.
And that is the reason why I think
that's a team player. That's a captain.
Exactly,
that's a leader.
And that is why Son is being invited back to Tottenham.
Yeah, tonight. He's coming back tonight. He's had a mural put up to have his farewell and to have his moment, because obviously he went during the summer and he hasn't been able to come back. But that is what a leader is. And I've criticised Son as well over the years, being, maybe not the type of leader that I would want, being aggressive and like that type of like Roy Keane-esque figure. Like he leads in a different way, and you lead by example sometimes. And I genuinely believe that Mo Salah is such an incredible player. I think I'm just probably shocked at the level of how not about his team he's been, and it is just I. And I'm sorry, but that is those titles, those accolades that you've won. You don't win them on your own. It's
been said about football that it's a team game, but then the corollary to that is that it's a team or a game played by 11 individuals in a team, and that's how I would describe Salah. He's an individual. He's self-serving. It's all about him, and unfortunately, he's kind of revealed that.
Well, in kind of a counterpoint to that, we've got a Man City fan here also kind of defending Salah almost. He says, so MCFCZT4MR says, Trent Alexander-Arnold was booed because he wasn't loyal, but same Liverpool fans now hating on Salah, who served them for 8 years with consistent great performances and stayed loyal. But then Trent obviously was there for 21 years as well, from the academy to minute one, and had a massive thing. So is it maybe like Liverpool? Is it still being consistent?
Trent is from Liverpool, but you should think like my logic on it is, I would think, okay, he wants a new challenge. He's given everything. So what that he's he's from Liverpool. So what that he's Scouse. Like, you should be proud and be like, all right, off you go. I saw someone put in the comments before, your one's talk with Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell went to my biggest rival.
Yeah, Salah's not forcing a move to Everton here.
He didn't go to Madrid. He didn't go anywhere else. He went to the club down the road. Our biggest rival, our most
turned out to be
enemy.
A wise move, though, didn't it?
And for him, yeah. And on top of that, he was my captain. It's not the same thing.
He's our captain too.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
No,
Trent didn't go to Everton. He didn't go to Manchester United. I know that Real Madrid are your rivals on a European stage. They're in a different country. I'm sorry, but I've just never understood this. Never understood it. Never understood the absolute hate that Trent has got. If anything, I'd be proud. When Harry Kane left, I thought, good on you. Go and win something, because you deserve it. You deserve to be free of my hellhole. You deserve to go and win everything there is to win, because you're so good. And Trent had won everything.
Yeah, from my perspective, I remember saying this at the time, Trent's want to go to Real Madrid, I think manifested slightly because it took a while for him to be offered a new deal, or maybe a new deal that he would consider getting. And part two as well, what else was Trent going to do at Liverpool? Like, I get that one club stuff, right?
One club man
doesn't exist anymore.
Let's not forget.
It does not exist anymore.
I'm sorry, but let's not forget the reason why Gerrard ended up staying as well.
Yeah.
Let's not forget
Yeah.
that, okay?
Let's
So,
not forget he wanted to go to Chelsea.
He
at one
wanted to
point.
go to Chelsea, guys. He wanted to go to Chelsea. Okay, he didn't. He obviously didn't end up going to Chelsea. But let's not forget why he probably didn't go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we're in a different age, a different era now, where if a player wants to move, he can move. It's not like he left anything unsaid, undone. And I saw a comment earlier that said, "Well, Trent didn't come out and talk to us as fans." Do you not think that was probably embargoed by the club? Hello, that they wasn't allowed to talk about it. There's so many things that go on in a football club. You can't breathe without them telling you if you can or can't do it. Open your eyes, guys.
And we
Come
should
on.
also factor into this as well that football clubs, they've got a habit of when the time is right for them, they will get
Exactly.
rid of the player without any hesitation. And they've got some pretty shady ways of doing it too. I could
Yeah.
list examples, but I won't in the interest of time. But we know that this stuff
Oh,
happens.
that's another stupid comment.
Uh,
Sorry.
Mohammed Yassin 4567 says, so now Carragher is rewriting the narrative by saying Salah never helped out Trent. Firstly, Henderson did that, and secondly, Salah did work hard and track back all the way up until Slot arrived. Do you
See,
agree
that's the thing
or
with
not?
Carragher's comments. I don't think he needed to do all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was entertaining. It was great copy. But
I'd have to ask AGT if he thinks that's a fair statement.
no, but basically what he
Henderson
said,
left a
he
while
basically
ago.
said is he said words to the effect was that Salah had thrown Trent under the bus or thrown Liverpool under the bus.
Yeah,
for
well, no,
8
no. He
years.
specifically said Salah. He didn't name Trent, but he said Salah had thrown his right back under the
Yeah,
bus
for
for 8
8
years.
years.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that was too extreme. But
That's
I
what I'm
understood-
saying, he
Again,
went-
Oh, I
understood
agree with
what-
that, yeah.
I understood what he
Carragher
was
went
trying
too
to
far with
say,
that.
but again, too far.
Yeah, that-
Sorry, I just wanted to read this. It's
Go
not
on.
a super chat, but it was just
Yeah,
a
go on.
ridiculous comment from Paul Dock, who said, if you have any balls, please answer why only Salah's been dropped, not Virgil van Dijk, Kanate, Gakpo and McAllister. Well, Virgil van Dijk and Kanate, arguably Kanate could be dropped for Joe Gomez. That's something you'd need to ask the manager. But you can't drop Kanate and Virgil because you've got no centre-backs. Hello? We've spoken about that for the last 4 months,
Yeah.
5 months. You've got no options. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that Kanate would have gone out of that team a long time ago. Why he doesn't like Joe Gomez, I don't know. Why he wouldn't at least try that, I don't know.
I mean,
but
he's
you don't
me-
have
he's
the option of
mentioned,
dropping Virgil
um,
and Kanate because they've both been really poor. They both probably have deserved to be dropped, absolutely both, including Virgil. You haven't got the options to do it, mate. You haven't.
And that's down to the transfer business that Liverpool did, I think. Like, from minute one, I was saying, like, yes,
And
we were
of
trying
course
to go
they
for
had
Gay, they lost out
Leone
on
get
Gay.
injured as
Yeah,
well.
they
Yeah.
but the thing is, they lost out on Mark Gay, but from minute one, I never understood why they weren't going for Gay and another. Any big team that competes in 4 competitions, you need 5 first-team centre-backs
Minimum.
plus a younger player.
Which would have been
almost every
Leone.
single time. So younger players, Leone, and then they would have had Van Dijk, Kanate, Joe Gomez, and Gay. There's still another hole there.
100%.
And if they didn't get Gay, lost Leone, if they had had another, they would still have 4.
Yep.
But I think, and you know, Salah's been dropped. Verts, like, so because he mentions, well, Gakpo, Kanate, VVD, Isak, and Verts. Isak is getting dropped, by the way.
Isak has been
The
on the bench.
130 million
Oh my
pound
God.
player is being dropped for your 85
Verts
million
hasn't
pound
always
striker.
played.
Verts
Ekitike hasn't always
Yeah.
played. Yes, okay, most of the time. He's tried Curtis Jones in there and mixed up the midfield as well. Like,
Szoboszlai was playing at right wing against West Ham.
exactly. I mean, what are you talking about? I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is a ridiculous narrative that they haven't dropped and chopped and changed anything. Isak was sitting on the bench for weeks. Still does come in and out for Ekitike because they've
yeah.
got too many players in that position and can't work out the balance of it.
Talk to me about Gakpo. Why did he not try academy players? So all the blame is on Salah, and you think this is all on Salah?
Not at
No,
all. It's not all on
This is
Salah.
not what we're saying. It's more about what Salah did. I find just a bit crazy because if he actually wanted to sort stuff out, there were other ways to do it before doing this.
100%.
Having been through the Ronaldo thing, Eric Ten Hag at the time tried to hold meetings with Ronaldo, but Ronaldo was already trying to force his way out in the summer. He was already trying to, and then just no one came in for him. No one came in for Ronaldo. So he then sat there. And Ronaldo before him was walking down the tunnel when he wasn't subbed on against
Yeah.
Spurs. Even I remember that Spurs game being one of the
Oh,
best
yeah.
games I've seen us play in a decade.
Oh, yeah, I remember
We
that. When he
beat
left
you
the
to the
stadium.
ground, and he left like at half time, where it was in the 60th minute. He left the stadium.
Remember that.
Salah hasn't done any of this, so I feel like there's a certain amount of calculation from, and this is different to what I said yesterday, I'll admit that, but the more I've thought about it, there's a certain level, I think, of calculation from Salah here, and he may be correct.
It's more than a certain level.
But he may be, he's fine to feel how he wants to feel. He may be, he's allowed to do that, but it's about why you then decide to act on it this way rather than trying everything you can to resolve it with the CEO, with Slot, with your fellow players, with everyone else.
And then you can speak about it once it's been resolved,
Yeah.
or at the end of the season, or when you leave, then you can talk about it.
But that brings
while
me
your
back to
team-
what I said earlier, is that he knew that Slot is in a weak moment.
Position, yeah.
So he deliberately did that then.
I'm happy you brought up Slot as well because just some more Slot quotes about the whole Salah thing is he said, when I didn't play him, usually players don't like a manager that much, but he was very respectful and trained really hard. So to an extent, it was a surprise to me when I heard after the game that he gave the comments that he gave. My reaction to that is also clear. He isn't here. Usually I'm calm and polite, but that does not mean I'm weak. I'm a firm believer that there is always a possibility to return for a player. Liverpool do seem, at least on the surface, very open to Salah, like accepting Salah coming. We're committed to your contract according to the press. We're going to have a sit down with you and everything. Is this Liverpool positioning themselves to say there's nothing we could do? It was Salah. Maybe trying to shift the blame towards Salah, or do you think Liverpool are trying their best to stay respectful, genuinely?
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I think that they're playing a smart game there. So what they're saying, we're not closing the door on anything because who knows? Salah might humble himself and come back and apologise for, he might have, but I doubt it because once you've gone out there on a limb like that, if he was to climb down, he would look ridiculous.
Yeah,
but what Liverpool have been quite smart in doing, even Slot said, listen, the door is not closed.
Yeah.
So they're, attempting to be the bigger man, so to speak. So I expect them to do that, yeah.
And, I hope for Liverpool Football Club and for the fans, it does get resolved because you don't want to see it end like this. However, I think unless there's an apology that's on the table, it's not going to happen. And also, you forget, guys, Liverpool haven't lost their last 3. They've won.
Which is they're on their best form since September.
Arguably, even though the results are still not great in terms of you're not winning convincingly necessarily, or you're still conceding goals. Actually, him being dropped from the team, you haven't lost.
But what you tend to find is, and we saw elements of that with respect to FJ. You saw elements of that yesterday when he was on the show. You get some fans they're so caught up in the cult of celebrity over a player, then it tends to supersede their natural.
To a certain extent, yes, but also
not to a certain extent. He was capping. You said it yourself earlier. He was capping hard.
Oh yeah, no, he was big time.
So that's what I'm saying. You'll get some fans, and listen, I like FJ. That's my guy. But he was the way he was talking yesterday. It was almost as if Salah walks on water. I even took a call from somebody on the way into the show today, and he was saying, there's no way you can leave Salah on the bench for 3 games. I said, why not? He's not, if he's not playing well and the manager wants to try a different route, and the manager feels like he's working.
If Salah wasn't playing well, but they were still winning games, then Salah can stay on.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when he's earned the right to stay. When as long as the game's still being winning, he's not massively negatively affecting the team. Then keep him on. But to a certain extent, this is just how it goes.
Exactly.
I remember saying back in mid-September when they were playing, was it Frankfurt? I think they played, and I was saying I think Salah needs to be dropped. Yeah. I said it in September, mid-October, so it's not a new thing. Salah being dropped has been something that's been on the cards all the time.
On this show.
We always say, don't it? There's only one constant at a football club. It's not the players. It's not the manager even. It's the fans.
Absolutely.
We are the ones, no matter who comes and
fans
goes.
Fans are there before and after.
Exactly. And I've got to be honest now. I remember when Aubameyang went through his tribulations at Arsenal. Yeah. I felt sorry for him because I was a bona fide admirer. I still am, even though he's left the club. I didn't like the way that ended. But at the end of the day, you have to accept that Mikel Arteta, it's his decision. If he wants to leave him out, he thinks for the betterment of the team, you have to accept it.
That is the manager's job.
Yeah.
I remember when Harry Kane, remember when he was trying to slyly push a move through to the City one, when they put 80 million on the table, offensive. But and he didn't come back to training. Most un-Harry Kane thing ever. And I remember saying, I love Harry Kane with my whole entire heart. And I would have him back in a heartbeat. But obviously at the time, I was like, well, you're not bigger than the club. If you don't want to be here, mate, you've got 3 years on the contract. So you're either going to apologise, suck it up, get back to doing what you do best, scoring goals, or that's it. Or they need to pay a lot more for you.
I agree.
Talking Harry Kane, just quickly, that was another thing that Salah did that I didn't really appreciate.
When he's
name dropping Harry Kane.
When he said when Kane didn't score for 10 games.
I swear that never happened.
No, he used to not score in the month of August.
I
don't recall Kane ever going 10 games. Ever without scoring.
No, I just thought that was unnecessary.
But I could be wrong.
Pursue your own agenda. Why are you bringing other? No.
But either way, he used to not score in the month of August. But boy, did he make up for it the rest of the year.
He then ended up top scorer anyway. So
did he make up for it?
He did no goals in August and then 10 in September.
And also, it's again what you do for the rest of the team. Harry Kane always defended,
Yeah.
always tracked back, assisted everyone, most unselfish player. And then they're going to get comments saying, well, he didn't pass to Sterling.
Well, Cyberverse, I think, sums it up really well here. He says, at the end of the day, Salah shouldn't have gone public like he did, but he did say promises made to him haven't been kept. Will be interesting to see what these
What
Yeah,
promises
promises?
yeah,
Promises
what
about
promises?
what?
Yeah.
Kind of
I
what all
promise
these
you that you
promises are.
start every single game
Yeah.
for the rest of eternity.
I promise you get at least 20 minutes of every single fixture.
Rubbish.
And these
Ish.
promises thing, we heard that from Isak, we heard it from Wissa. That seems to be a little go-to move that the players
Promises
have
have been made. Do
promises.
they just,
I've been
is it
made
kind of just
promise-
off
what
comment
does
like,
that
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
same thing. We've got gentlemen's agreement.
Yeah,
They told me I could
what
be
is
the
that?
gentleman's
Well,
Soon-
you
blah, blah,
Arsenal
blah,
fans
blah.
more than anyone will know about gentlemen's agreements off the whole Gyökeres thing.
Well, exactly.
Like that was 2.5 months of basically them going, now you said this, you said get it in writing, bro.
As soon
Get
as
it in
I hear
writing."
that, I switch off. Because
This
I think,
had-
look,
you know what
unless
this-
you've got those promises in writing that you can refer back to, I'm not interested.
Yeah, you know what this has definitely, because also promises normally to get the player to sign a new contract is normally, no, we're going to spend, we're going to buy,
Yeah,
we're going to
exactly.
bring in new talent. That's exactly what Slot did, and just to talk on that. This, I think, has actually taken pressure off Slot.
It has.
Yeah.
This has. Because
Inadvertently.
as well is Slot, you've got to remember, this guy is in trouble at the moment. Arne Slot is, realistically.
Yep.
They're below United, below Chelsea, below Crystal Palace after probably putting in one of the second worst league defence, at least I've seen in my lifetime. No, the only one is when Leicester were almost relegated after winning
This
the
is the
league.
worst defensive title I've seen ever since Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson.
You said that before as well. You
Lots of
brought
time.
that one up
But
before.
anyway, to go back to what we were saying about Slot, I do agree with you. It has taken a bit of pressure off him, but as we all know, Dylan and Abby, that this is a results game. So if they lose to Milan and then go on to lose to, God forbid, to Brighton, he'll be back in it again.
Oh, God, yeah.
However, if they win a couple
Yeah.
of games or do well, then the reverse will be the case.
So the reason I wanted to bring this up is because there's news coming out in Spain that Xabi Alonso, if they lose to City, he's done. Apparently at
Well,
Real
now
Madrid.
they're- God.
But it's you know how the Spanish media are. They are entertaining is the word I'm going to use. Spanish
Especially when
media.
you're
They're a
managing
bit crazy,
Madrid.
especially when you're managing Real Madrid. They are, I think, second in the league, 5 points off top or something, and they won their first 9 games or something. It was something mad like that. But Xabi Alonso is under increasing scrutiny and increasing pressure at Real Madrid, and he was asked about Liverpool. He was asked about, what would you think about maybe taking over Liverpool one day? And he basically said, there is this bond with English clubs for sure with my former club, Liverpool. At this moment, this is my place, this is where I want to be. But in the future, you never know what could happen. So there is potential, because Alonso
I
played over
found that to be
200
a
times
very
for Liverpool.
interesting remark. Because
That's why I thought you'd find it interesting. That's why I
do,
brought this up.
Because I'm of the view that players don't, especially someone like Xabi Alonso, a very experienced player, manager. He's been around the block. He said that tantalisingly.
But
know what I mean?
but he's not an experienced manager, but he's an experienced
Yeah,
footballer.
but
This
he's
is
been around the
third
game
season.
a long time.
But yeah,
and
he's
he
been
has
around.
managed at
Yeah.
Leverkusen as well. So he knows.
He's played for Bayern
these
Munich,
guys
Real Madrid,
say
Liverpool.
These things, man, it's not said in isolation.
No, football.
So he's basically, there's two things the way you can read into that. I'm always saying to Real Madrid, well, listen, you lot think I'm under pressure, but look, I do have, you know what I mean? People do respect me in other
Liverpool
countries.
fans, I do want to know if there
Yeah.
was a scenario that Xabi Alonso is available and Klopp has gone, would you? Sorry,
mean
not
Slot.
Klopp. Slot has gone. Would you want Alonso in? Just
sure
let
they
me know.
would.
I
Pretty
want.
sure they would.
I want to know your thoughts and opinions on that.
They would, because they've got that connection with him, that he's a red.
Mm.
And
I agree. I think that he said that knowing as well. He knows what he's doing there.
But at the same time, they're not going to get rid of Slot and potentially Salah all in one go. So
But could that not be a way of just getting rid of the problem? Is by getting rid of both parties and
That's
going
not gonna
right,
happen.
new one from
That
minute
could
one.
happen, you know, Abby.
But it could. Let's say.
As I said before, it's a results business. If results start going awry again, people are going to say, you know what, let's get rid of both of them, start fresh, like what Dylan's indicating. I think that can happen.
could happen, but probably not till the summer.
Yeah, not till the summer,
Not
but
till
yeah,
the
it could
summer.
happen.
A couple of people are talking about the Jamie Carragher tweet. Yes, we did. After this show, going back, we talked about it right at the beginning. It's where the kind of this whole conversation came off
Oh
from.
my god, have you guys
But-
not seen it? Go and have a look.
Yeah, go-
I haven't seen the tweet. I haven't seen that. I saw the interview last night.
Well, no,
the
it
tweet
was
about-
the tweet about him saying
Oh,
that he
right,
wants this
yeah.
game to win. Yeah. So
Yes.
just if you haven't, yes, we have discussed that. It's right at the beginning of the show.
Just
So
the
after this show,
nature of
go
it,
on,
just
look
thinking
at
about
it.
that as well, just quickly, just the nature of that suggests how personal it is.
It's
between him
crazy,
and
isn't
Salah.
it? It's
To
the
say that-
more you think about that
Because
tweet.
this is not like it's a cup final or a Champions League cup final. This is a one-off game.
That's just it was an unnecessary.
Yeah,
extra
so
jab.
him
like,
just-
it's like giving 50 Cent level of petty now. Like
Yeah.
Also, if
To
anyone
say
watches
that, I
documentary,
want them to win this game more than any game I've ever. That's ridiculous, bro.
But
It's not even a cup final.
I
It's
kind of
not-
want to see what happens if Liverpool win now. If Liverpool win this game
For the
after
plot-
all of
for the
this,
plot.
for the plot twist,
For the
this
plot.
is it's the same reason I wanted Arsenal to lose to Chelsea and lose to Aston Villa. It's just not necessarily because I would rather Arsenal won the league than Liverpool.
We want
But
the
like at the end of the day, I want excitement, I want drama, I want storylines. This is why we're here. This is why DR Sports is here. It's to look at the storylines. We've got our own storylines. But yeah. I do think Carragher's, as we said, kind of what we've all said. Carragher's taking it a bit too far. There's way too personal.
Very too far.
Very
I think
too
it's
far.
More than
Yeah.
A bit. It's more than a bit.
But funnily enough, there's some football tonight going on.
Of course.
There is, and just on Spurs news is you've drafted Matthias Tell into your Champions League squad to
Nice.
replace Solanke.
Well, honestly,
Solanke, who?
well, again, if anyone can find me Dom Solanke, that would be great. He was again another one out with the minor knock. Like the guy,
What is the nature of the injury?
Laurie, I don't even know, mate. At this point, I don't actually even know. It was I think it was.
When was the
ankle.
last time he played?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, you can understand
actually
what
couldn't
it.
tell
Let me.
you.
I'll see if I can find
But
it.
it's the same. It's the same the whole time. Where is it?
Solanke's not started
Solanke
this
ankle. Like he was meant to be back in October. In my current injury list, Johnson has a knock, doubtful. That means he'll be out for 7 months. The doggy strain, early January. Dragusin, he's back apparently mid-December. He did his.
You could always
Cruciate.
bring
Last
these-
time he played was when you beat Spurs. Beat City in August.
So will he be recalling
He played
Yves
12
Bissouma
minutes.
into the
Bassuma's
time?
still out.
I know.
Ankle. Kulusevski, knee injury. Oh, remember that
He's
guy's
too
knee
busy
injury?
doing balloons.
Who?
Famous knee injury.
Bassouma. Have you not seen the pictures?
No, I don't. want,
There's
no.
he's done some questionable things.
Haven't we
but-
all?
He's got an
Haven't we
affinity
all-
for balloons.
But
Wait,
apparently.
am I judged?
staying on the game.
Kulusevski.
No, but
was
that's
meant to be
facts.
back
He's got
November.
You know, I
pictures
know,
with it.
but you're
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I haven't got another option. I haven't got another strike, have I? So, oh God, I won't moan about injuries because your brother told me I'm not allowed to. Also, Robbie Lyle. Okay, I messaged him yesterday saying, "Where are you?" And he was like, "I told you I'm going and doing this interview." And I said, "You didn't." Like, I was like, "Big up for it." I was like, "You absolutely didn't say that," because
Oh, no.
I would remember that.
he's on a panel with Wenger.
Yeah, amazing.
I saw this, yeah, which is A, big up Robbie, but B,
Like,
also,
fair.
I was watching that show on Monday and I completely agree with you.
Thank you.
This injuries thing.
Not having it.
Yeah.
Not having it.
I would have it if I was allowed to have it, but
Oh,
if
if
I'm
I
not
had-
allowed to have it, you're not allowed to have it, no one's allowed
And
to
I
have it.
wasn't
I
allowed
know,
to have
I
it.
know you said reason, not excuse.
Yeah,
Don't
I
care.
mean, listen, without.
Oh no, you got to bring Ben White in, who cost you 50 million and has got like 200 Premier League games under his belt.
No, I'm not crying about it. I just felt it was pertinent to mention it because you can't escape the fact that, our two first choice centre backs are out. Then we lost Mosquera as well. So
Aww.
to say that it won't have an effect is a
Well,
little
you
bit.
did. So when Gabriel went out, we did the show as soon as it was it came out that Gabriel was injured, and you pretty much said that it wouldn't have an effect.
No, with
'Cause of your
Gabriel,
depth.
yeah. I think, like I said, Nketiah was able to come in, no problem. But when you've lost both of them, right, then Mosquera comes in and you lose him again. Come on, that's unfortunate. And listen, if we lose the title, you won't hear me talk or overly talk
I wasn't
about
having
it.
a go at you yesterday.
I know
It's your
you were.
brother.
Yeah, exactly. But
But
what I'm saying-
unfortunately, you were the Lyle
You were the-
representative
you were
on
the
that
Lyle
panel.
it comes with
out.
the territory, innit? I mean,
It does.
You had a go at me about my banter comment about
No,
what title
not
race.
having it. Not having this. So literally on the show yesterday, after he was saying, when he was saying no title race, I was just banter.
Yeah.
First thing we did live at 5, or about halfway through, I got it on that telly. I played the clip where he was saying what title race. Because
Yeah.
he was having a go at me for
They're all
going, I've taken a
backtracking.
grievance with what you've said in that title, Dylan, or in that introduction.
I told
No,
you.
but when you
every
played that
gunner
clip, you
is
could
a
quite-
runner.
No, but when you played the clip, you could quite clearly see I had a big smile on my face and my tongue was very much embedded in my cheek when I said it. That being said, though, I'm going to, as I said yesterday, and I
What load
reiterate,
rubbish.
I've got no reason to change my mind whatsoever. I remain unequivocal. Arsenal will win the title this season.
Yeah. I mean, I am still, Arsenal are still favourites, I think. It's just,
course
I
they're
just
still
find it fun that it's just more interesting.
No,
but-
I'm here for it, man.
Yeah,
It's all good
Champions
fun.
League results so far. Cara Almaty have lost to Olympiacos 1-0 away from home. Bayern Munich are currently drawing with Sporting. But there's loads of games on. You've got Atalanta. Chelsea are going to face Atalanta. Barcelona are hosting Frankfurt. Obviously, Inter Liverpool is, I think, the game of the evening, with
Yeah.
all due respect.
don't-
Monaco,
yeah, Spurs,
Galatasaray,
Slavia
PSV are playing. PSV Eindhoven are playing Atletico Madrid. Spurs are playing Slavia Prague, and then USG are playing Marseille. But
It's
with
funny because on the way down here, I saw a load of fans with red and white. I'm thinking,
Slavia Prague.
yeah, and then I
Yes,
realised
the Slavia
it's
Prague fans.
Slavia Praha.
But after your 2-0 win against Brentford on the weekend, obviously your first home win since August in the league, I want to say. Could this
Fourth
be
of the year. Merry
Fourth.
Christmas.
Could this be another game that obviously Xavi Simons was fantastic against
This is where I expect Xavi Simons to Simon Simmons to be,
or just Xavi.
Just Xavi. Yeah,
Xavi's easier.
This is where I would expect him to flourish and thrive. And I think the other day it gave him so much confidence, which is great. Obviously getting an assist, obviously getting a goal as well, and a really superb goal at that. Having kind of that hunger, fight, determination, win the ball back, obviously he did get bodied off the ball, but again, being strong enough to kind of fight for it back.
Yeah.
It was a lot more positive than what I'd seen. In general, the whole team was more positive than what I've witnessed over the last few terrible months. This is the type of game that I think suits him. You know, it will be he'll have a lot more space in the pockets, a lot more movement. I think it definitely helped the other day not having Polinia and Bentancur in the team. I think having Gray there just gave you a little bit more. I expect maybe Bergvall might come back in tonight potentially. But in terms of Europe, we've been good. Like we haven't been bad at all. Our run in Europe has been pretty excellent in terms of home games. Can't remember the last time we actually lost a European home game. So yeah, like we're going well. Need to make sure we get the win. And that's that really. Like,
could this be like a really big game for you to be able for Spurs to be able to kick on? Because I'm looking at your schedule here. You've got Slavia Prague at home, Forest away, Liverpool at home, Palace away, Brentford away, Sunderland at home. It's a tough run.
Yeah.
But then if you have someone like Xavi Simons, who's, I think maybe what he was missing was just the ability to kind of himself to know that he can get the couple of goals and assists.
I can't
his belt.
pass judgment yet when it comes to the Prem because I've only seen him have one good performance, which was against Brentford, who are notoriously bad at home. If he could go on and away from home. Sorry, if he can, of course, affect tonight, great, more confidence for the boy. Go away to Forest, tough place to go. I've always said I will be critical of him because obviously I will be, especially when I was seeing performances like I did against Chelsea, for example. But
the one against Alonso wasn't.
No, that wasn't great as well. But he didn't start that game. But I will reserve judgment until the end of the season. When you have players that come from different leagues, they do sometimes take time to adjust, you know, and the physicality and the pace and the pressure of the Premier League. So I'm not going to bang his head against the wall over it for the whole season. I'll make a judgment at the end of the season and see where we're at from that point.
Yeah, I hear it.
I think players nowadays, and they're not given much time.
No,
I do feel a bit sorry for them.
This is just us as a general culture. We want everything now. Like,
It's why I'm being so lenient on Cunha, for example. So Cunha's got 1 goal and 1 assist from us in his opening 12, 13 appearances, which is not what you want. Like in comparison, Brian Mbeumo scored his 7th goal or 8th goal of the season last night when we beat Wolves. Bruno Fernandes is top of. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes isn't a new signing, but Bruno Fernandes has now the most assists in the Premier League this season. He's got 6 to his name, and he's also got like 4 or 5 goals. I think 4 goals. But with Cunha, like obviously watching him last night, obviously he was against Wolves, and there is a certain extent with Cunha at the moment of he doesn't want to. Like there were about maybe 3 chances for him to score last night, particularly our first goal, which was one of the worst goals I think I've ever seen. Our first goal was stupid, but I'll take it.
So unaesthetic. I actually think they said that on comms, and I was like,
terrible. What surprised me about that is that he passed. I thought he would have
this is
taken
what
it
I was
on
going to say. Is
himself.
I reckon either 6 months ago or in 3 months' time, Cunha takes that. He's right-footed. He was on his left, but like the goal, Sam Johnson left the goal so wide open. In a few months' time, and as I said previously, I think Cunha does take that shot. But I think there's a part of him at the moment where, I mean, Amram said it last week. He said that Cunha's thinking too much about his numbers, thinking too much about, you know, I need to do something right here. I need to like get some goals and assists down. And this is the reason I'm making this point is relating to Xavi Simons.
Yeah.
Is I think they're both just players who we've seen their quality. Same with Wirtz, which is why I've never been too harsh on Wirtz because I've watched him play and he's a damn good player. I've watched Cunha play. I've watched Simons play. They're like internationally. I've watched Simons for the Netherlands. He's been amazing over the past couple of seasons. But I just think it's a case of these players just need something under their belt.
I think
and then
with
they will be
Cunha,
able to
though,
go, and with time,
yeah,
it
I hear
works.
what you're saying, but with Cunha, it's slightly different because, of course, he's played in the Premier League.
That
for
that
Wolves,
is true.
so
That is true.
He already knows he's up to speed with the pace and stuff like that. But to be fair to him as well, he's had a couple of injuries, so he's not up for.
Yeah, Cunha's he was getting into form and he got hamstring injury.
Yeah.
He was kind of getting into form again. Then he got almost knocked out in training. And he's only just come back. I have so much faith, love, and time for Matheus Cunha.
No, he'll be a
personally.
very
Yeah,
good
he
signing.
will.
for
And
you
it-
guys.
it
I love
takes-
the guy.
It takes time. It's also much easier to come into a side, I think, where it's thriving and you have depth and you can ease someone in. For example, on Javi Simmons, if we would have had a Maddison or a Kulusevski available in a 10, then he probably wouldn't have had so much pressure to come in and deliver straight away, but we didn't have that. With, obviously, Manchester United, it's a continuous circus. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope one day we break it, but I mean,
long may it continue.
You guys saw my rant on Friday, and
Yes.
I still feel that way. But finally, just want to get quick score predictions for first Inter versus Liverpool. Abby,
oh,
I'm going 2-2 for that game
go on Liverpool. Go on 2-1 Liverpool
for the plot line.
for the plot.
What do you think?
I think I'd have to go with Inter, man. They're solid at home. Liverpool still not.
Not the best defensively, though.
Yeah, that's true. But Inter 2-1.
And then Spurs game. Spurs at home, Slavia Prague, obviously.
2-0 Spurs.
I think 2-0 Spurs.
Yeah, I think.
2-0 Spurs?
Clean sweep, 2-0.
Well, I mean, we'll find out later tonight. Thank you guys
The
so much
jacket
for
on the
watching.
screen.
Yeah. The jacket's on the screen.
Get the jacket off the screen, Haas!
Oh, what a jacket that is. If you enjoyed the jacket, leave a like. Or if you enjoyed the rest of the show, leave a like. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, Samsung TV, everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. If your team's playing tonight, best of luck. And I'll be here 5 p.m. tomorrow with Abby once again to go through tomorrow's games and react and everything like that. Apart from that, I'll see you then.
Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
roundup. Oh my days.
Word.
We're in for a great show today, guys. Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
We're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah,
Foden
I'd
88,
say
Saka
that's about
87.
right,
I think that's wrong.
Nice that you put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
How much chance will Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do it
PSV, do you think there's any chance?
No,
that we
no,
know?
no.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves.
Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still
You're in
there.
trouble if we win this game.
You better not lose on Saturday.
We beat the world champions this weekend. That makes you world champion.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 million down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby Pilates instead of trophies. You never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup.